Welcome to our December 2020 shout, our last shout for this crazy 2020. We are here on the Big Island at the Chambra Pavilion in the Kainalua Kona, and we're glad that you can be here with us. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm getting ready for Adamus, so I'm a little dingy. We've got to go through some information and slides. It's a little challenging at times when I can feel Adamus close by, and sometimes, he is closer than others right before, but today he's particularly right with all of us today, so he must be having something important to say. But yes, I'm doing fine. And yourself, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm pretty happy. This is certainly always a paradise, and
It is.
It's incredible to be here shooting something. And we have a local crew here, which is unbelievable to have our Hawaiian Chambra, Moshe and Michelle, and then of course our Colorado team. But this is going to be done in this tropical environment, abundant with life.
It really is. It's beautiful. I love doing the shouts from here. I love doing them anywhere, but from here in particular, particularly in when it's cold out back in Colorado. But it's a little bit of a technical, not a challenge, but it keeps them on their toes because we're here at the Chambra Pavilion in Kona, and we're recording, or we're filming it, it's live of course, but the signal has to be sent back to Colorado where Gene and Peter and Billy are all there today. Gene and Peter are then having to take the live feed from Kona, and when you see like videos or slides or other things inserted, they're having to insert it, but what most people don't understand is there's like a 25-second delay between here, the time we go here, and then the time you see it at your homes. So we have to always compensate for that delay. And I know, Peter and Gene, you're doing a great job running all the media and keeping track of the time. Yeah, because we were actually just watching the opening here at the Majestic Land with a beautiful video footage, which was really nice. And I was getting kind of caught up in it. And suddenly Moisha here in Kona is saying 20 seconds. I'm like, no, it's not done yet. And it's like, no, it's 20 seconds here, but, so we're having to jump in.
We can feel your pain.
It's all very confusing. Plus I have to channel in just a little bit. So it's all very confusing. Anyway, we welcome you to this holiday shout. It's a little strange because normally we will have our Christmas party. It was originally scheduled for a week from now, the shout and the Christmas party. And I've gotten used to it, and at the studio, we have a big crowd there. We cater in the food, we do the shout, then we have a big party afterwards, a lot of times with karaoke, and it's, quite an event. And boy, everything has just changed this year. I mean,
totally.
Duh, but it really has. And so here we sit, and we have to be very careful about the number of people that can even be here in the studio, the number, just, the whole mask routine and everything else. So it's what a strange year. Well, I hope Adamus talks a little bit about it. I put in a special request for him to do so.
Will he listen to you?
Once in a while, he does.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, usually I have to listen to him, though.
Caught that.
At 5 o'clock this morning, he's giving me instructions for today's shout, and I'm like, couldn't you have done this a few days ago? Suddenly he needs an easel writing board and this and that, and it's like, and then I have to tell the crew, and they're like, couldn't you have told us that yesterday when we were setting up?
Adamus can't tell you that early, because then you'd fret and you'd hyper schedule and it would get all stressed out. It's better if it's just a little window of stress.
Oh, a little window of stress. I got it. Well, I don't exactly agree with that, but that's the way he does it. And I will have a talk with him one of these days soon.
And he will listen.
I didn't say that, but I will have a talk with him one of these days. Anyway, good to be here with all of you. And again, thanks to the entire Crimson Circle staff.
Oh, no, Jingle Bells just came running in.
Oh, yeah. Belly is all dressed up for the holidays. I don't know if we can get a shot of Belle. Just came in on stage. She knew that we were starting to do the webcast, so she's all decorated with her holiday collar, ready to go. She's kind of the star of the show,
our
actually.
Jingle Bell.
Yeah. I think she was back, somewhere up at the house talking to Adamus. So thank you, Belle, for being here. Yes, how about a shake for Chambra? Chambra shake. There we go. Chambra shake. Okay.
Where's the biscuit?
I don't have a biscuit. She's all right. She's going to lay right down there.
Okay.
She does that. Belle, of course, is our amazing, beautiful, lovable, adorable Chambra dog here at the villa. actually belongs to the neighbors next door, but she's over here all the time.
She adopted us.
She does, and she loves whenever we do a channel session, she just comes and plops herself right down on the carpet right here. Even if we need that area for walking around for when Adamus gets up, she doesn't care.
No, she
it's like
doesn't.
as long as she's right close by. So she's truly adorable, and we're really, really happy to have her here. I mean, truly adorable. Thank you, Belle. And she's all dressed up for the holidays.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. Anyway, once again, thank you for being here. And it looks like we're going to be doing the next shout from Colorado in January, unless we decide to stay here.
Well, assuming they get the COVID under control. As you know, the U.S. is literally, and statistically, literally the worst country in the world for not having appropriately managed COVID. And ironically, Hawaii is the only state in the 50 states that has it under control and totally in a reasonable, safe place.
Well, and it's important that they do because, for one thing, they just don't have the medical facilities here to take care of, a surge. So they're very, very cautious, and we had to go through some hoops just to get here, on the airlines. But
there's a cultural thing here about, respecting others.
Absolutely. So anyway, I think it's time to get into the meat of what we're here to talk about.
Oh, boy.
We're in the midst of the Merlin I Am series. Last month we did Shoud 2, the second Shoud. We're going to show a little recap of that just to bring us all up to date, including us, because we need to remember what we did a month ago.
Put you back in line.
It seems like a really long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Are you ready for a preview of or review of last month?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, let's hit it. Let's have this review of Shoud 2, Merlin I Am. When you're not trying to change the world anymore, when you're not even trying to change yourself anymore, when you're accepting all that you are, when you're allowing, now that sense of beauty comes up, and it's in everything. It's in the music. It's in nature. It's within your very being. It's very real, visceral. Take a deep breath and invite it in, because it's coming if it's not already there. There's been a lot of deaths in the Chambra family this year. A lot of them. A lot of Chambra just saying, I'm just going to opt out. I'm just going to leave. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention Edith. Edith. Dear Edith passed away just 2 days ago. Edith and I sat there for a good long bit, and I use the term sitting there, but in a way it kind of was, because we've both been human. We knew what it was like just to sit. We just sat there quietly for a while. At that point, I said, Edith, where to now? What do you want to do? And she said, I want to go to Theos. I need to rejuvenate. Well, Edith has something she'd like to share with everybody, a number of things. Edith says, first of all, she wants to come back because there was something in her life that was really missing. A number of things, if I'm not mistaken, but there was one thing that was really missing in your life, and that was her lost love. She had a lonely heart, she says. She even named her real estate company that she had, Heart Realty, thinking maybe this would put out some sort of energy or vibration so that he could find her. But he never came along. She waited and didn't change that chair. She didn't allow in the energies of herself, of abundance into her life. She didn't really let other people all that close into her life because she was waiting. So Edith, what now? What now? Are you willing to do your realization in another lifetime, with or without Well, Edith says that she knows now that it's so important for her to allow love and abundance and her own realization in spite of anybody else. But given the choice, she would still rather do it with him. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And time to go back to Theos and do some rejuvenation. And any parting words? She said, ultimately, the only one you can really love is yourself. But it's really nice having a soul lover. So thank you, dear. Thank you. We have, almost close to 1,500 Shambhara around the world who have acknowledged their realization, who have come out of the closet, so to speak. And I want to make a point of that today because it's really about your perspective. You know it's here. You know it's right there, but it's still that last little coming into realization. That's fine. There's no rush into it. But if you're wondering, if you're puzzled, well, when does it come? It comes as soon as you say, "I am realized." That then changes the energy. Your new perspective, a broad perspective of "I am realized," then changes the relationship you have with energy. Then your dreams change. Then the flow of abundance changes. Then your whole attitude about life, your ability to see beauty, then it changes when you acknowledge, when you come out of the closet, yes, I am realized. Next point on the list for today. We've been talking a lot about your relationship with energy. And we've gone through a lot of the physics. The energy is all yours. It's all yours. But basically, all energy is here to serve you. And what I really want to do today is ask you to open up now and let it in. We've talked a lot about it in theory, in concept. But today, with all of you in this shout, let's open up to it. Take a good deep breath and receive that energy that's yours. No more holding back. No more fearing that energy. Receive it. As you do so, you're also allowing in, accepting in all of you, all of your past lives, all of your experiences, the master within you, the I am. You're allowing that in. And I know we've talked about this a lot over the years, but today I want this to be a point of separation, a real point of separation, where we're not just talking about it anymore, you're living it, you're embodying that energy. Take a good deep breath. It's all your energy. And it's here to serve you. We've talked about it, but now I have to insist on it. Become it. Allow it. And finally, for today, the day of Edith, let's do a mirap. Take a good deep breath. You've chosen to stay on this planet to be a master, to experience now embodied realization, to experience your own energy. You've chosen to stay on the earth and to shine on for others, knowing that the planet could really use it right now. On this day, let your light shine within. Instead of having it out there, off there somewhere, let it be right here, shining within. Feel your own radiance, your own consciousness. This is you. And now, together, individually but together, let's shine onto the world. Let's shine onto the world. The world is looking for a light right now. A light without an agenda, a light without rules, a light without suffering, a light of higher potentials. Let's do it right now.
So, great recap. That was quite a big channel.
Yeah, it was.
Really big.
Yeah. And you know, I love the part where he's talking to Edith, and Edith was such a part of what we've all been doing over the years. And, you know, unfortunately, too many Chambre have crossed over lately, but on the other hand, when they do, they offer such wisdom back to us when they do cross over. So, it was a wonderful shout.
I'm going to take this moment to personally acknowledge that someone that had been a part of Crimson Circle from Coal Creek Canyon days, from the very beginning, Linda Farrell, who we all knew so well, has passed. And
1 week ago today.
I got goosebumps just saying it.
Yeah.
She was a dear, dear Chambre friend, and she will be dearly missed.
She will be. And there's just too many Chambre that have crossed over. And but yeah, with Linda Farrell crossing over, that was a little bit of a shock also.
Yeah,
So,
I knew she wasn't doing well, but I didn't realize it got to that point.
Adamus did tell me earlier that Linda's going to be his special guest today.
Yay!
Yeah. So,
I love it. More goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, also before we move on, I want to acknowledge the beautiful stage set here. Linda designed and filled in the tree, and Moishe and Michelle did the designing of the stage set, and Peter and Jean back in Colorado were assisting it via the internet yesterday. But I think it looks really good for Hawaii, and you know, it's just it's not like the elaborate set that we usually do back at the studio, but I really like you did a nice job with the tree.
I like Christmas time. I'm a true fan of glitter and sparkle. I can honestly say that.
But that's 364 days a year, plus Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you forgot about that. All right, well, let's move on. We did not have any past events to talk about.
Not because we didn't want to, but
know.
as you know, with all the restrictions, it really kept us from having live events. So there have been no live events.
Well, we had a couple events scheduled for November, but
We
of
did.
course, we had to do the COVID on them and went right down the toilet. So we're here now. We actually had some nice time to ourselves here, gotten a lot of work done. We've done a lot of filming and a lot of production work here, but also just had a chance to kind of take it easy, which I'm getting to kind of like. I mean, taking it easy.
You?
Yeah, my big revelation while we've been here and just had a little time for reflection. Also, I just realized I've worked too hard all my life. And I love what I do now, so it's really not like work. But, you know, when I make it to the pearly gates and whoever's there to greet me, if anybody is, and they say, so what do you think? It's like, yeah, I just worked a little too hard in my life. And, you know, I wished I'd have just let it come to me easier. So that's what I've learned. Fascinating. Okay, let's take a look at the upcoming events.
So, upcoming, we have the exciting, and I'm sure we're all waiting for it, Pronost.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And Pronost 2021, I'll go back on Pronost. We started, I forgot exactly what year, but I think about 8 years ago. And initially we had a couple of guests that we did it with. Dr. Doug was one of the guests, and Jim Self. And then at some point, Adamus wanted the whole stage to himself.
Shocking.
Surprise. But that's when it really took off, because then he could open up and just be Adamus. And he started talking about technology, artificial intelligence, and what he has eventually called the time of the machines. And that's been kind of the theme, but it's expanded beyond that. And absolutely amazing information, and for me personally. And then when I look at what's happening in the news, you know, years after he's talked about it, it's happening.
I know.
I mean, it's really happening. but it all ties in so beautifully to why we're here. He says we chose to be here at the time of the machines, and we chose to be here as realized beings, which more and more Shambra are recognizing within themselves. And we're here really just to shine our light, like he said in the last Marab, like just to radiate our beingness. And I can do that. That's not a lot of work. I can do that. Anyway, Pronos 2021 coming to you pretty soon. It's January 16th online. It'll be from the studio in Colorado, but no audience this year, in January. And I love the title that Adamus gave it, the And Times, spelled AEND, like it's what's called a ligature, where you combine two letters together, the A and the E combined. So it's a play on words, but it's about what he's calling the end times. But that doesn't mean nasty, apocalyptic type. We're coming to the end of a time. Some would actually say that and including Adamus, says we're coming to the end of the Aquarian age now. It didn't happen 20, 30 years ago. It's literally happening now. So we're coming to the end times. We're really developing a whole new species of humans on the planet. And then for Shambra, it's the A-and-D times. It's the time we become the and. We are in time and we're out of time. We are physical beings, we're non-physical beings. And to me, that word, or the title, the and times, A-E-N-D, is so beautiful because it says it all. It's the end time for humanity and the and time for Shambra.
Well, Adamus has been building on that, and particularly he's been strong and Kihak about it. And so I think it's going to be incredible as usual, but just be clear, he tends to be a bit provocative and he's not going to necessarily tell you what you want to hear.
No, but I love the perspective. I love how, he has such an organic perspective on things, and it's not fear-based, and it's not has nothing to do with conspiracies. It's all about, well, here's really what's happening. It's not just the 30,000-foot view, but it's the 30,000-mile view on what's going on the planet. So I'm excited about that. He's already been chatting in my ear about some of the things he's going to talk about. It's usually 3 sessions. We do 2 sessions, take a break, and then come back for the last one. Take a longer break, and I would say it really kind of kicks the year off. So if you want a good perspective of what's happening on the planet, where things are going to go, not just next year, but for a long time to come, tune in to Pronos 2021, the And Times.
Okay.
It's one of the things that I love channeling the most, but it's also the most nerve-wracking, the expectations and everything else. Also, just want to mention that it's $75 early bird price. I forgot what the late bird. Is there such a thing as a late bird? I guess there would be, yeah. And it's always insightful, always provocative. So that's coming up January 16th. Make sure to sign up whenever you get a chance. What else do we have, dear Linda?
Oh, boy. One of our favorites, definitely core material, aspectology, is coming up online January 22nd through the 24th. And it is incredible material. It affects everyone differently because everyone has their own set of aspects.
And here's kind of how we work it. We take some of the original recordings done by Tobias and Adamus. Tobias did the original recordings. It was really one of the last things he did before he left. Adamus has added updates to it, which are really very relevant, very pertinent.
Absolutely.
And Linda and I are at the studio in Colorado with the production team. We're there all weekend with you. We're live, and then we go back and forth between the original recordings. We make our comments, our notations. We have hundreds and hundreds of people online, and there's a chat room where you can chat with the others, not during the live sessions, but otherwise. And to me, aspectology is kind of the core of what Tobias called the new energy psychology.
Right.
We learn how we came here really as facets of our I am. We're kind of like a ray or a part of our I am. And we came here for experience. And then because we are also kind of creator beings, we have the ability to create other facets of ourselves, or what he calls aspects. We create aspects to do everything from learning photography to learning a computer, how to drive, how to cook, how to go to work. They all become kind of aspects that are in service, but when there is emotional trauma, particularly at a young age, or big trauma carry-throughs from a past life, it's very easy then for those aspects to get dissociated or pissed off. And in their worst case scenario, they're aspects that are really you, but they don't like you. As a matter of fact, they don't think that you deserve to be in charge, the main, human being on the planet, and they want something that you have that they don't have, your soul. And they become outrageous. Now, I'm not saying this normally happens. It's not.
It sounds like family.
No, that's a different thing. That is aspects, your family. So I caught you on that one. Yeah. So anyway, occasionally, they talk about in aspectology how we have our light aspects. They're here in everyday service. They're integrated, and we got a lot of gray aspects. They're kind of murky. They're not really integrated. They're kind of energy thieves, and they're thieves of the mind also, and our true ability to appreciate beauty and sensuality. Beauty, something Adamus talked about in the last shout. And then in the worst case situation, dark, where they really hate you. I mean, this is what you get when you have like a multiple personality syndrome type of thing. Adamus has also said a lot of people, claim to be possessed, by a demon or whatever. And he said 99.9% of the time, that is simply their badass aspects, their worst dark aspects. And
I can see that would be very easy to misinterpret.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really kind of a study, I don't want to say it's about multiple personality syndrome, but it incorporates that, but it talks about how we create these things and how these aspects that are dissociated, the dark and the gray ones, aren't going to come back home until it's safe. And then they, of course, offer all the information about how to do that. So aspectology is truly one of my very favorite things to do. Yeah. And that's coming up. That is coming up January 22nd through the 24th. And I look forward to doing that again. Linda and I host it live.
We truly like doing that. It's, again, I think the reason we like it so much is because people gain so much from it, and they share that with us, and it just, you can't not see it.
Let's take a look at the trailer.
Good.
I think we have a trailer to show, and
good.
we can let everybody see a little bit for themselves about aspectology again, January 16th. Let's play that trailer.
There we go.
Good. Aspectology, fascinating, amazing, truly new energy psychology, a new way of looking at what happens to the being, particularly when they come to Earth. They forget about who they really are, but yet they're still making these aspects. They'll disguise themselves as ghosts and boogeymen and evil spirits and demons, and so many of you have done that in the past. You think you're being followed or even inhabited by some evil spirit. It's not. It's simply an aspect. And it's not that the aspect is bad. It's not that it's necessarily trying to harm you, although that does happen. It's simply that the aspects that you've created for whatever reason are simply wanting to come back home. That's it. How many of the thoughts that you've had are not yours? They belong to an aspect. How often when you hear this negative voice, is it not really yours, but belonging to an aspect or a group of aspects? How many times have you felt fear? Perhaps fear that wasn't your own, that wasn't really you. How often have you felt and experienced confusion
We can't seem to sort things out and get clear because all the aspects with their agendas and their stuck energy are clogging up the very natural process of creativity and creation. Traditional psychology has an unwritten core belief that there is something broken at the center, at the core of the person, and that it must be fixed. The new energy psychology of aspectology understands that at the core, at the soul level, it is total perfection. It is natural for any creator being to create actors of itself, to create aspects that will serve it. It is a natural thing for all of these aspects to return back home sooner or later. In this beautiful, beautiful dynamic, the soul remains pure and clear. Or the aspects might be wounded. The aspects might get lost. But because of this beautiful creation called aspectology, the soul remains pure. No matter how imbalanced you may think you are, no matter how distorted your aspects might get, the soul remains pure. And this is the blessing of the creation of aspects. What emerges is a wiser human, a more enlightened human, and a human who's no longer afraid of themselves or their actions or their thoughts, but understands that aspects can be consciously created and consciously reintegrated all of the time. It recreates a natural type of flow, the constant creation of aspects to serve you, and the constant re-invitation for them to come back, and they do. It eliminates those crazy thoughts, those voices, that constant judgment upon yourself. You hear that constant criticism and judgment. It is the aspects expressing how they have been treated. The mind quiets down. The mind realizes at this point that it doesn't have to control everything. The identity in this lifetime quiets down, and the fear seems to go away. A new trust in the deepest parts of yourself is reestablished, and you live each moment in a very balanced and integrated relationship with yourself, in a trust that you haven't felt in eons of time. This isn't a mess. Well, it looks to be a mess, but it's actually a brilliant example of the creator abilities of each and every one of you. It's just that it's gotten a little messy. It's gotten a little, you've forgotten where it's being created from, who's creating it. You tend to think that these have influence or power over you. And you know what? The minute that you start thinking that and believing that, it happens. You suddenly give all of this crazy group the basically control or the degree of control over you. It's a great game. But at any point, what a creator has created can be uncreated, or it can be recreated in any way the creator wants. So, you don't like this? You feel intimidated by it, overwhelmed by it, disempowered by it, or anything else? You are the creator the moment you step forward and accept that. You may not want to accept it. You may say, oh, that's so much work, or gee, I don't know if I want to take responsibility. Oh, then it'll remain like this. And that's okay. It's just the game of creatorship.
So I think you can see that aspectology has a lot to offer to anyone. And we're excited about that coming up soon.
Well, and we have a lot of big things happening coming up. Pronost, of course, aspectology, and then after that, in February, we've got the Threshold. That's February 12th through the 14th, and we're going to be doing it from right here back in Kona. It's one of those live hosted weekends where we're with you all weekend. We're playing some of the what we recorded previously, but boy, last time we did it, we had people from, I think it was like 45 or 50 different countries tuned in for it. It was truly amazing. Threshold actually was one of those surprises for me because Adamus started doing it years ago. It was really considered the premium class, truly premium.
And he limited it to a very tiny number.
Very small. And then early this summer, Adamus finally said, okay, you guys need to film it, and we're going to have it as a cloud class or hosted online class.
We're like, what?
And we had to rush to film it. We had to rush to get it out, and it was amazing because, you know, he did it to time in with the Summer of Realization and a time when so many Shambra could really use it. So we're there with you all weekend. Now, one of the prerequisites is that you have to have taken the Sexual Energy School. So if you haven't taken it, there's actually not one between here and now. But if you haven't taken it, you'll have to wait till the next time we offer the Threshold. It's one of my very favorites. Even, you know, we do surveys for all the classes. 75% or more of the attendees say it's life-changing. I mean, the comments are phenomenal. It's really about encountering the dragon within before really coming into realization. And you have to, because it's all about releasing, letting go of any junk. You can't bring the junk with you into realization.
Well, Adamus really does a good job of bringing this to each one of us. If you're open to it, there is so much to be gained, and so much you're able to expand and move forward in such an amazing way because you come so clear about things that were easily set aside and ignored.
Well, initially, you know, the dragon is pretty awful, that experience with it, but like in my own situation, the dragon actually got to be one of my very best friends because you realize why it's there, what it's really trying to do to help you, and you realize it's there at the doorway to realization to serve you. So that's February 12th through the 14th. If you're ready. That's a big one. Don't take it lightly. And that's why we require Sexual Energy School, because it is a really big one. Okay, after that, Linda, what's our winter, spring schedule like?
Well, we have quite a few things coming up, and I'm excited. We're going to be back here, as you know, on Hawaii. And it's been interesting. You know, people are trying to negotiate their travel conditions and what they need to do or not do. But in spite of all that craziness, we have quite a bit going on.
Let me make a few comments. So in case you're thinking about coming to Hawaii, as Linda mentioned at the beginning of this, Hawaii is actually the only U.S. state that's not in the red COVID virus thing. It's safe. They do require you to get a negative test 72 hours before your flight. Otherwise, you have to quarantine for 14 days once you get here. But the islands themselves, particularly the Big Island, is very, very safe if any of you are concerned about it. The rules, whatever, might change between now and then. We simply don't know. You and I keep up on the Hawaiian news on a daily basis just to see what the deal is. But a lot of the restaurants here now are reopened. The hotels are reopening now. The island actually has a really, really good feel to it. I mean, I'm not particularly looking forward to going back to the mainland in a couple of weeks because it does feel so good here.
Still.
You know, it's a very relaxed feeling, and back home, you know, COVID is gotten to be a big deal.
Really big
So anyway, we do want to keep you posted about what's going on with the events, but we'll run through the listing here. If you're interested, we do have some openings for, well, take it away, Linda.
And again, we are working closely with you because we know that there have been circumstances that you have to follow depending on what country you're from.
Right.
And when we have the events on Hawaii, we always have people from all over Europe and Asia, I mean, everywhere in the mainland. So we'd love to see you, and we understand that there are lots of things you may have to do to be able to do it well and get here. So, but as Jeff pointed out, we've got, in spite of all that, we have Energy Works February 20th through the 24th, then March 22nd through the 26th. And the February event still has 5 spaces open.
Yep.
The Energy Works in March has 15 spaces open.
That's
so
correct.
there's quite a few spaces open for that March event.
Yeah, but it's getting narrower. More and more people are starting to sign up because they're realizing, first of all, they just want to get out and that the island is safe. So more and more are signing up for it. Then we go into April.
Well, there's not much to say about in April because those events have remained sold out.
Right, right.
And so
Master Code, which is
Right.
April 11th through the 15th, and then the Energy Works, April 21st
Exactly.
through 25th, they are sold out. And by the way, my feeling is by that time, things are going to be pretty
They'll have
good
things under
already.
control.
Yeah, with
They'll-
vaccines and everything coming out. Although Adamus said, it just goes away as quickly as it started, and
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. And then after that, we have Master's Code May 5th through the 9th, and we have added the channeling workshop. And as you can see, the Master's Code, we have 3 spaces left,
Yeah.
and the channeling workshop, we still have quite a few. We have 22.
22 spaces left. Yeah.
So
yeah.
this would be a great environment to do the channeling workshop in.
That brings us into the summer months.
Boy.
This is where we're going to be doing the next Sexual Energy School. Sexual Energy School is going to be June 18th through the 20th. It's really considered the core Crimson Circle class. It's all about energy management. It's all about returning back to love of yourself. We talk about it all the time. You know that we just can't say enough about SES, Sexual Energy School. And so many Shambra now have taken it. I don't have the latest count, but I think it's like somewhere between 12 or 15,000 Shambra have taken it, whether it was with the teachers or with our online classes. So
More than anything, too, that, when you can manage your energy, the ability to manage relationships also increases dramatically.
absolutely.
You have so much more clarity about what's acceptable and what's not.
We'll have a couple more summer events coming up, which we'll keep you posted about, but SES, Sexual Energy School, June 18th through the 20th online. That takes us to autumn next year.
Well, so this is interesting because this is a reboot. Because of the 2020 nightmare craziness, can't travel, we took all of our events that we had to cancel for August, September this year, 2020, crazy 2020. Now they're in 2021.
Right.
And they're the only difference is they are 1 day earlier than
Right.
what we were going to do this year. So the first one is going to be the channeling workshop. That is September 1st through the 5th. And that is, where is
Beautiful Roost, Austria.
Oh, my fave, yeah, one of my
And we
faves.
only have 6 spaces open on that.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
long way away, but only 6 spaces
Well,
open.
a lot of the people transferred.
Right, right.
So from 2020 to 2021. And then after that, we have Time of the Merlin live in Bled, Slovenia.
Yeah. Oh, I really missed it this year, being with 500 Shambra from around the world. The music, the fun, the parties afterwards, and really missed that. Oh, and the channels, of course.
Oh, sure,
But
yeah.
that's, again, in September. It's September 11th through the 12th, 2021. That's in Slovenia, in Bled, Slovenia. And we're a little over half sold out right now. So if you're interested in going, even though it's a long way off, I'm going to say it will probably be sold out by late January, early February. So if you're interested in going now, it's a good time to sign up. It's a blast.
And that's a beautiful, fun place to be with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's just
Absolutely.
great. And it's a nice little community, so you can't. So then it turns into Chambreville.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it's a lot of fun to be there because
Yeah.
it turns into Chambreville. And then after that, we have Energy Works at the Carmag,
South of France.
south of France. Oh my God, it's September.
It's sold out.
Oh, that's
It's sold
right.
out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, sold out. So with that, we're just going to move on now to Chambra News.
Oh boy.
I always like this part.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Chambra News, because this is where we bring up the latest news and information, and I love the little graphic. Just a little train going through Fantasyland. Oh, it's kind of the way I feel right now.
That's little Jeffrey.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right. As always, check out the Chambra magazine, the award-winning Chambra magazine. It's filled with articles, information, and everything you want to know about what's going on with Crimson Circle is in there, and great articles. I'm totally impressed with the level of our guest articles. It's really increased over the years, and we have some really good writers with amazing insights and thoughts writing about their experiences of coming into realization and staying here on the planet. So really good articles. And then my own article was actually kind of an open letter to New Chambra. It was time to address that. That was
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, but it was fun to write. But it was just time for it. So with that, a few other things.
Jeff's article I'm going to make a mention of it. What I liked about it was the way it was stated and written. It was so good that I would personally not hesitate to send that to anybody that asks about what we do, who we are, where we're at.
You mean non-Chambra, anybody's?
Yeah, anybody.
Right.
Yeah, because it really it was a nice way of energetically explaining who we are.
Yeah, it was. I hadn't thought about using it like that, but it's really for the new ones,
did.
saying, what is Crimson Circle about? And I'm always tongue-tied to try to explain, but by putting it to pen and paper, it made it a little bit easier. A couple other quick things. Of course, the Dream Walk to Realization is out. I think it was out even for last show, but I wanted to include it in here because that's gotten to be one of the most popular offerings that we've ever done. It's a guided journey with Adamus. It's about going into, feeling into realization. And it's also an encounter with your inner Merlin. There's a beautiful portion of it where Adamus takes you all your past lives together and meets that inner Merlin. It's very, very profound. It's about 75 minutes long. And we also are now offering on most of the things we do the music track without any voiceover. So let's say with Dreamwalk to Realization, you listen to it with the music, with Adamus, but then you want to just fall into the music, we now offer that as well. So it's just $25. I mean, phew, what a deal.
It's a good value. It's a very good value.
And just out, brand new in the Master's Pause series, just came out, earlier this week, I think.
It was.
The new Master's Pause, I Am Free. Of course, many of you know.
But it costs $25.
I am free.
But it costs $25.
I am free. Yeah. It's kind of an odd name because actually some people did say, I thought this was free. And it's like, yeah, well, it's free to think about, but if you want to listen to it, you got to pay $25. So Adamus didn't think about that when he gave it the name I Am Free. But yeah, people are standing in line. I wanted it supposed to be for free. It's like, yeah, right. Well, okay, that doesn't work so well. It's a really a beautiful Master's Pause. Master's Pauses are really nice.
They are.
Because Adamus recognizes that, we're going through a crazy world, crazy times, and every once in a while, let's stop and take a pause. So you want to see
He literally says, I'm watching you on your journey. And when I do these master pauses, they're a direct reflection of what I think you all need and deserve
at the time,
on
in a
your
very
journey.
timely way, yeah. So you ready to watch a little recap of
Sure.
I Am Free, the new Master's Pause? That's not free. It's $25, but it's called I Am Free. Let's play it.
Welcome to Master's Pause. I am free. I've been waiting for a while for this one. We're coming to a point in the brilliance of what you and other Shambhava are doing where consciousness and energy will come together. And that's why this, I am free, is so important. You know, one of the important things is freedom from your past. Feel into your past, spanning lifetimes and lifetimes. Oh, so many beautiful experiences along the way, but the energy tends to get stuck. But when you step out, allow yourself the freedom of your old perception of the past, then so liberating. And then you turn around and face the future. Well, the first thing you realize, the future isn't out there anymore like it used to be. It's right here. It's right here. The future is now wide open, filled with new, beautiful potentials. Next on the list, thing that really causes a lack of freedom is mass consciousness. Mass consciousness is basically an agreement, but you can get so deep into it that you lose sight of yourself. All you have to do is take a deep breath and walk out of it. Next big one. Of course, these all kind of tie together, but time. Time is one of those things that really just sucks the freedom right out of you. It gets you so limited and so narrow, and you begin to believe in yesterday and tomorrow. And you keep trudging along, dragging the past with you, under the cover of mass consciousness, hoping that the future holds redemption. Whew, that's a sad story. That is a really sad story. It's the way most people live. Fact is that it's all right here. And next, the mind. Your thoughts are limited, they're time-based. They're based on the past, and they're limited by mass consciousness. Let the mind now come back to its original position, its original function. Simply a mechanism for being able to maneuver here on this planet, but not running everything. I am free. What greater words could be spoken by the human? I am free. I am free in my energy. And I am free now to receive the I am. Consciousness and energy. That's where we're going, dear Shambhava, in the work that we have together.
So it's available, and as you can hear, there's certainly some things in there that could be quite assisting us in our journey.
Yeah, so I am free. I'm glad he didn't name it I am $25 because that'd have been weird. It's I am free. It's available in the Crimson Circle store right now, along with the bonus music track.
Downloadable.
So for $25. Also on top of that, a little Christmas gift for Shambhava all around the world. With collaboration with Yoham, which is Gerhardt and Anat. We created a whole new free album And this one is free.
This is free.
This is free. It's not $25. This is totally free. It's called Relax into Realization Volume 2. You may remember back in the heat of all this COVID stuff, I think it was about April or May, we put out Volume 1. We knew Chambra just needed a break from things, and to have it for free would really mean something. So we created Volume 2 now for Christmas, from our heart to yours, from our ears to yours, the Relax into Realization. There's 6 beautiful song tracks, music tracks on it. It's downloadable. You can get it in the Crimson Circle store right now, right after you get I Am Free. And then you get Relax into Realization for free. So it's just our way of saying thank you for everything you do and everything that you are. We're going to play a little track right now from Relax into Realization. It's an audio track.
It's the thing that Adamus says, it's all our energy.
Yeah.
So we're acknowledging that.
So let's take a listen to Relax into Realization, Volume 2.
And I'll spread my wings and fly into this new time that is coming. Feel the freedom of my soul and the love for who I am.
So we hope you enjoy that Relax into Realization version 2.
Volume 2, yeah. Also, one last thing before we go on our hot chocolate break here today. In 1 week, coming in 1 week, which would be 12/12/2020, we've got a very special message from Saint Germain. Now, this is not Adamus, this is Saint Germain, so we know it's special. Whenever, he does this about maybe once a year. And this comes out, his request, the date of 12/12/2020.
Why 12/12? Why is that so special?
Well, it just sounds cool. 12/12, you know.
okay.
What if it was like 6/18/2020? It's like no big deal, but 12/12, you know, and the 12, I don't know. But it's on 12/12, and it too, like so many of the other things we're doing today, are free.
Whoa.
Yeah, look for it. It'll be online. I believe it's going to be offered in the store. It's an important message from Saint Germain coming up. So that will be available on 12/12.
12/12.
Yeah,
and it's free.
It could have been 7-Eleven and a lot more convenient, but get it? But it's on 12/12. So it's a very special year-end message from Saint Germain. I'm sure it'll be topical with everything that's happened in this crazy year, and what a year it's been.
And it's free.
We're going to take a break here, get ready for Adamus, And before we go on break, we want to wish each and every one of you a very,
Truly.
very happy holiday. It's a different holiday type of year than we've ever had before, but hey, at least we're breathing and enjoying life. Very special thanks to our Crimson Circle angels, to the translators all around the world, to the web hosts, to the Crimson Circle staff and the volunteers. You guys make it all happen. We
Your energy
really
is
appreciate
always
it.
felt and appreciated.
Time now for break. We'll be back in about 30 minutes for more with Adamus. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.